Hello heroes, and welcome back to Heroes Shadow, where we dive deep into our favorite heroes' minds. In today's video, we're going to uncover the true triumph of the Wakanda King, how you can also possess the strength of the Black Panther, and discover the true hero in you. Sit tight and buckle up as we dive into it. T'Challa is a young prince, trained in the cultural path as a prince and a future king. He worked hard for everything he had. He rose to the throne after leaving isolation to bring to justice everyone who attacked and stole from his people. However, why did his life's purpose come under question when his claim to the throne was challenged and seized by a vengeful outsider who was a childhood victim of T'Challa's father's mistake? In this video, we're going to explore and discuss how the life journey of the Black Panther can transform our perception of life to result in us being more selfless, respected, influential, and stronger. And how we can conquer any obstacles in life, knowing that we'll always have people to stand by our side. By the end of this video, you'll understand what makes T'Challa the most unique, valuable, and most loved Marvel superhero. T'Challa, even after following the rules and playing by the book, still had a hard time getting everyone on his side and letting go of the past. We cannot say because of a life event that led to a very bad experience, the fact that you've worked tirelessly to get what you have, or perhaps you've given your all, only to be betrayed and disappointed. Then for that, you withdraw yourself from society and refuse to take risks and sacrifices. We'll go over the stages of T'Challa's character transformation, where he goes from being isolated to a more open, recognized and celebrated hero, so you can start seeing these representations more and more in your everyday life. The most successful hero's journey is always when it's the most emotional and powerful. The most emotional and powerful is when it's the most simple and easy to understand. The Black Panther is a very good example of this. The most simple and easy to understand is when a movie tries to answer the big questions in life. The big question in life is when it's a person's fate, their identity, and what that means for their journey. When you see a movie with a journey, it's not really about the action or what happens, it's about what follows from it, and what we can learn from it. Here are some major lessons from the Black Panther which we can learn from. Don't be defined by the mistakes of your past. Bruce Lee once said, "Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them." One of the major turning points in the Black Panther was when the beautiful Nakia encouraged the young king not to be defined by the mistakes of his father.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
It's a no doubt that you feel like your sacrifice won't be appreciated because of your previous experience or because of what you've been told by some naysayers around you. But you must not allow those mistakes to determine your future. King T'Challa's father made a very big mistake by trying to conceal the death of his brother by his own hand. This singular act led to a chain reaction that later sent the vengeful Eric Killmonger, T'Challa's cousin, on a destructive mission. The overambitious Prince Eric later became Wakanda's nemesis and nightmare. Mistakes are evidence that we are human. It's actually in denying and concealing them that we become victims. You can't influence the world by dwelling in isolation. We're living in a global world. You really can't achieve the beat in isolation. Globalization is not just a tool for socializing with the world, but also a veritable way of transforming it. It starts with you. Learn from adversity. It was powerful to see how, when faced with adversity, T'Challa used that situation to educate himself so he could gain mental strength in order to press forward. To see how he took a difficult situation and used it as fuel to face his challenge was a wonderful experience. He shared Wakanda's resources with the outside world and realized that you can still be a king and a good person. This is a lesson we could benefit from greatly. It showed him how he should never allow setbacks to prevent him from reaching his goals in life. Showing compassion to your enemy is difficult, but wise. When T'Challa had a chance to kill people he thought were his enemies, He held back and showed compassion. This allowed him to discover that one opponent was innocent, Bucky Barnes, and another, M'Baku, was just being a good leader. This led to both Bucky and M'Baku becoming valuable allies, and to him gaining something even greater: sense of peace and justice. The moments when T'Challa chose compassion over vengeance were pretty powerful. People increasingly seem driven by anger and revenge rather than sympathy and hope. We tend to jeer our enemies instead of recognizing their humanity or realizing that their situation could one day become ours. All too often, we choose the fleeting satisfaction of bringing someone down versus the lasting peace of having done the right thing. While compassion can be difficult to offer, it's what moves our future forward. Dead enemies can never become allies, and true sympathy gives people the opportunity to change. T'Challa demonstrated this nicely. He desperately wanted vengeance for the murder of his father, but realized the price he would pay, the cost to his soul and to the idea of justice, too high. In the end, compassion gave him wisdom and made him a better leader. We would do well to emulate his choice. T'Challa asserts that home is where Killmonger belonged, no matter how his existence came to be. The theme of this relationship between two cousins is a connected legacy, and how the interruption of that legacy led to the adversity they now faced. Throughout this journey, Killmonger's motivation was tied to vengeance for the death of his father, and this quest was tied to T'Challa's own. We shouldn't try to assume they both share the same philosophy. It's that same path that ultimately separates them, such as the part of seeing T'Challa being tossed over a cliff, while the Black Panther at the last minute gave his cousin another chance to right his wrongs. This does not become a trauma that would continuously disconnect them, as ideas are indeed infused by dreams. It's okay to take a stand for what you believe in. As the king, T'Challa had to make some tough choices. As his ancestors would want him to stay safe and protect his people, T'Challa felt that keeping Wakanda isolated from the outside world would be a detriment to his people. T'Challa knows the world is changing and he wants the best for his people, so he took a stand for what he believed in. You can take a stand for what you believe in, with the odds against you, as long as you have the heart, desire, and the courage to do so. What you need is not out there. It's in you. Helen Keller once said, "What I'm looking for is not out there. It's in me." Though Wakanda may be a fictional African nation, the truth is that there is always a Wakanda in all of us. We must believe totally that we can carry within us a special form of currency that cannot be devalued. The ability to look inward and discover the treasure within is the most liberating force anyone can ever possess. Wakanda's vibranium bears a great resemblance to your good heart that wants what's food for everyone. Instead of burying these talents of yours in isolation, you should harmonize these powers to fuel self-development in your life and everyone else around you. This was reinstated when T'Challa's father said what he needed in order to be a good king. It's okay. You cannot change everything. When we're in life-altering situations similar to T'Baka, we need to have faith and decide to let the chips fall where they may. We have no idea what the future holds for us. Life can change in a moment. We all will experience this at some point in our lives. It makes it hard in such moments to take the next step. We sit on the sidelines and watch, wondering how we should react to these life-altering situations. Sometimes they hurt, and sometimes they make us happy. You'll witness several individual falters in the face of significant internal and external struggles. Having to deal with embarrassment, shame, and occasional complacency leads to a Shakespearean type of tragedy, often connected to one's own hubris or actions. When Killmonger was defeated, the rightful heir to the throne of Wakanda is left not just to reclaim his own title, but to defend the legacy of the nation he was born into. If you're still hearing this, it means that you followed us to the end of this video and are one of our heroes. You're a great person. You are appreciated and loved. You are important, and you're not alone. Thank you, as you subscribe and like our content. It helps other heroes find inspiration and hope in their darkest hour. You are the wind beneath our wings. We appreciate the support. We're grateful for the heroes, and the heroes are grateful for you. Thank you for subscribing and liking. Thank you for sharing our content. You are the best. Bye.